welcome back to Coffee Chats with Mo and Bro, episode 6. Cheers, bro.
What's up, bro? Good to be back here.
Good to be here.
Working with my sis.
Yeah, I love it. What are you drinking today?
I just keep saying the same old boring answer, Iced latte. I need to change it up for everyone. I'm going to spice it up next week.
I was going to ask.
Hit you with a mocha or something.
Not a mocha.
Something you don't expect.
Oh, no. No, well, I keep changing between the iced latte and the iced Americano, so at least I've got a little bit of friskiness in me. You're just...
Yeah. I need to do
boring,
something.
Boring over here.
Even if it's an energy drink, we'll see.
No, it's called Coffee Chats with Mo and Bro.
I might pivot.
We're pivoting.
Energy drinks with Mo and Bro.
Episode 6 and we're pivoting already. No, but as usual, we'll chat for a little bit. We're following our usual guidelines of sharing 4 topics. So something to do with nutrition, something to do with training, a lifestyle tip that's helped us and our clients along their journeys, and then also business. So something that's happening behind the scenes with us. So what we do here at Motion Fitness, obviously brother and sister, we help clients, both male and female, from anywhere around the world, trying to reach their goals. So typically that's losing weight and getting to a goal weight of theirs, but we like to focus on building muscle at the same time to give that kind of defined look rather than just skinny fat.
Yeah, and just doing it in the form of nutrition plans, workout plans
you
can do either at home or at a gym, and nutrition plans that you can follow easy enough. So it's not your chicken and broccoli and rice. It's more, we keep using the word sustainable, something you can stick to forever. So we want to get you to your goal weight, but more importantly, teach you how to stay there.
Yeah, because we're not big here at Motion Fitness on quick fixes. We're like, how can you sustain it? Again, the word sustain for lifelong and enjoy it as well. Yeah. So we'll touch on the first topic, so nutrition. Obviously, we all have social events and gatherings that we attend to with friends and family. Are there tips that you can share with everyone for how to prepare for those, or when you are there, kind of like how to work around it to still stay on track with your goals?
Yeah, so it comes down to, there's a number of factors. So it's like if you're at your goal weight and you're on maintenance, you can probably get away with, enjoying yourself a bit more. Or if you're on like a traditional bulk, you might be able to eat out with less restrictions and not be too worried. But if you're not where you want to get to and you do have a goal weight that you're trying to get down to, it might mean you don't go back for second helpings of dessert and things like that. It might mean you have to take a less carb approach with those meals, and that kind of just comes down to how bad do you want it. Unfortunately, like if your goal weight means enough to you, you will make the sacrifices needed. Look, at the same time, because we work with a sustainable approach, we're not saying you can't enjoy yourself forever, but if you drastically need to lose 10, 15, 20 kilos, it probably means you do have to sacrifice the creamy dishes, the carby dishes. Is that what you would suggest?
I would say go in there with a game plan. So understand what your motive is for the night. So if that means that you have to cut back on some of your foods to kind of keep those calories so that you can have them when you go out, then do that. Are you planning on having a drink? And if so, maybe you can have a look at the menu beforehand to see what drink options there are. Obviously, like the vodka or the tequila, gin with soda water and lemon is low in calories, so it's a great option. And then looking at kind of if you're going out for dinner, what's on the menu and what you think would be the healthiest, high in protein to stay full throughout the night. Going in there prepared rather than not prepared at all, and just then you're just setting yourself up to fail, I feel.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong with the protein sources, so just the meat options and the veggies. Obviously, you're not going to be able to track the calories because you don't know how it's been made.
Or you could ask the chef. But if you really wanted to, if you were really involved in hitting your goal, you can ask how many grams of protein is in it.
I think this is something you can ask, especially if you're at a restaurant and it's actually not too big of an inconvenience to the chef. If you ask not to be cooked in oil, and you ask for sauces to be in a little side little dish on the side. Those are two of the quickest, easiest ways for the chef, but also you, to understand a lot more what you're eating. And you don't have to feel like it's a big inconvenience to everyone around you, because it's really not.
Yeah.
So
Those are good tips.
I'm full of them. I'm full of good tips.
Well, give us some more then.
Some other good tips. What else? Well, now it would be more about for those that are maintaining a weight.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you've lost your weight, you're going to now want to socialize, and you're going to want to feel less restricted.
Yeah.
So that's when our understanding of calorie banking and things like that, taking some calories from certain meals, having less calories throughout the day to allow for more calories for that social occasion, creeps in. So that's something I would encourage people who are just trying to maintain their weight.
Yeah.
It might mean you have a smaller breakfast, or maybe even have no breakfast.
Skip it,
which is not something that we encourage, not for day-to-day life. But if it is a Saturday and you're going out with everyone in the evening for a couple drinks and a dinner, it might mean you just take out a snack during the day, have a smaller breakfast, get your steps in, maybe even have a workout. That way you're kind of ticked off all your boxes, so you can enjoy that evening and be guilt-free, and then just get back on track the next day.
Yeah, calorie banking is a massive one, like you said, to be able to actually still enjoy social events. So it was cool. I had a chat with one of my girls the other day, and she said that she had a social event coming up. And I just, because I've been working with her for a little bit now, so I said, what do you feel like you should do? And she said exactly that she will probably just skip her breakfast. And she said to me that she understands that's not the ideal thing to do, but to be able to still enjoy the event with her friends. And she understood that's kind of a great way to do it, is to do the calorie banking. So it was awesome. And it's, something that I do as well. Like if I have an event coming up, then I make sure I factor in the calories, especially when it comes to alcohol, if you are into your drinks. So those are great tips. Any more? That's all you can think of now?
Oh, I could keep going, but we don't have enough time on this podcast. So,
okay, cool. We'll get into
you got to shut me up now, otherwise I won't shut up.
We'll shut that one there and we'll get into the next one. So with training, when people have injuries, because obviously injuries aren't something that we can fully prevent, and saying that we can if we prioritize our form and looking after it and doing all the exercises right, but people obviously have other hobbies, maybe touch, rugby, whatever it may be. What?
No, you're right. Carry on. I just found it entertaining you said that one. But anyway, carry on.
So if you get injuries from, I don't know, you could be picking something up, bending over, picking something up. Hopefully you don't get an injury from that, because that's just bloody. I don't know what that is, but
it does happen.
It does happen. It tweak it in the wrong way. So I guess where I'm trying to get to, my question is, if you have an injury, how do you work around that when it comes to still getting in your weight training?
Yeah, so like
Here comes a smirk.
I think you and I have like slightly different opinions on this. I'm just going to say it from my opinion. I think a lot of the time when you're injured, you got to wonder if you're really injured or you're just hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe
is it your mind?
Maybe not even that. Like, I get it, you're hurt. Maybe back from my rugby league days, I remember when I was in the Warriors development team.
We get it.
The coach said to everyone, like, if you get hurt on the field, are you injured or are you hurt?
Yeah.
Because if you're injured, you come off. If you're hurt, you stay on.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're working with, we've all got jobs now. No one ever wants to be hurt or injured.
Yeah.
But you got to figure out, is that injury really worth you having time off the gym? And the reason I say this is because I've had people who have literally like injured their foot, and they say they've got to have a month off the gym.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I would then say, well, can you train your upper body? And for some people, they haven't thought of that.
Yeah.
They haven't thought that you can actually work around injuries. And so that's what I'm getting at. You need to be able to work around injuries if you actually want to sustain and be fit and healthy for lifelong.
Yeah.
Because I've been injured. I've hurt my neck doing a pull-up before. There was only probably 6 months ago, but that didn't stop me from going to the gym. I had 2 cortisone injections in my shoulders a couple years ago, which meant I couldn't even do an upper body workout for 9 months. Unfortunately, that meant I still had to go to the gym, but hit legs like 3 or 4 times.
Is that your first time hitting legs?
Pretty much. And then I banked so many leg workouts. I haven't had to do legs since. Nah, that's a joke, everyone. But like I had to, and I got friggin' strong legs because
Yeah.
that's all I could train. But it's working around your injuries.
Mm.
Because if you're going to allow one little injury to disrupt you
Yeah.
from your health journey,
Yeah.
unfortunately, you're destined to fail.
Yeah. You've got
Because
excuses left, right, and centre.
you've already got
Yeah.
excuses. So when it comes to injuries, I don't really buy into it too much. I get it. Sometimes I've been injured and you need a week or so off, but by no means does that drag on. And the minute you
Yeah.
can get into the gym and train another body part,
Yeah.
you need to start training it, because if you lose momentum, boom, before you know it, you're back at square one.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I do agree with you. Like that is just a harsh truth of it. It's a reality. It depends on how well, like, if you actually want to reach your goal or not. There's always ways to work around things. There's always going to be obstacles and challenges. It's how you push through them. And that is pretty fair enough, to be honest. Obviously, you can still get your steps in, which is major. Work through like mobility workouts. Still, even potentially depending on the injury, still train like you usually would, but obviously lowering the weights like significantly. But still keeping the strength there, because a lot of the time, like, I mean, I'm not a physio or anything like that, but a lot of the time you still need to make sure you're helping those muscles and those tendons by working on them.
But we also understand the physiological
Exactly.
adaptations of the body. So we understand you might not be able to do certain movements, but you can do the rehab to still get to the gym.
Yeah.
Because I think the big thing is, if you stop going to the gym for a few weeks, it's harder to go back.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that's where the consistency comes into it.
Yeah.
Even if you're injured, you can get there and do other things.
Yeah, well, you've got resistance bands as well, so just working on the mobility.
Bands, my knee's been playing up for a couple of months.
That's still going on.
Yeah, but like that hasn't stopped me from getting to the gym and training.
Yeah.
And even doing legs, because there's ways around it, and because I know, thankfully, what I'm doing, I can rehab it. But yeah, you don't just stop completely, because the minute you stop, you're now in a way giving up.
Yeah. So moral of the story: if you've got an injury, try and work around it.
But get guidance. So you need to go to a physio. You need to get everything you need. But in saying that, train a different muscle group.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can't train the muscle or joint that's injured, train another muscle group.
Yeah.
Or if you can train that muscle group, just do rehab on it.
Yeah.
Those
Real
would be the main
light weights and still strengthen it up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Lifestyle tip. Something I've put down anyway is make your bed, which can sound a little bit silly, but to be honest with you, quite a few years back, I didn't actually do this. So I would get up out of bed and I wouldn't make my bed and I'd carry on with my day. And it's not until I've actually started to make my bed, which has been for a couple of years now, but when I make it, it literally feels like my brain is free of clutter. Because I walk past it and I just see like a nice freshly made bed. It's the first thing I do when I get out of bed, and it sets me up for the day. I don't know what it is about it, but it just clears the mind and gets you ready, rather than, I guess, having a mess that you visually see and that is also clogging up your mind at the same time.
I think it's because you've ticked off your first goal of the day.
Yeah.
Like your first job of the day is to make your bed. And
it is a chore, right?
It is a chore. And it's your first chore.
Yeah.
So the minute you get out of your bed, that's the first chore that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And if you've ticked off your first chore, everything's downhill after that.
Yeah.
Like back when I was a PT, my alarm clock was 4:50, and it would go off, and it was like just getting shot in the head every morning. I'm not a morning person, so I hated getting up at that time. And because I hated getting up at that time, I would never make my bed.
Yeah.
And I did that for a while. And then just one day I thought, you know what? I'm sick of like just not feeling good from the start of the day. So I started making my bed and not using the excuse of I'm waking up too early, I don't have time. Because as soon as you make it part of your routine, you realize it's a minute. Like,
literally, you're just throwing over.
It could be done in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's really not long at all. So if anyone says they're getting up too early or they don't have time, like it comes down to priorities.
Yeah.
You need to make it a priority.
Yeah. Set you up for the day, eh?
And it gets easier. And this goes back to our habit building.
Yeah.
So like habits are what not only gets you to your result, but keeps you there. You need to build habits. And that is the first habit I would suggest you get into.
Yeah, it is massive. Would you come home and like your bed was still unmade?
Yeah, and that's another thing I've heard, and some people would have heard this too.
Yeah.
It's like once you make your bed, you've done your first job of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and then no matter how shit your day is, how bad it is, you come home to a made bed.
True.
And there's no better feeling than you coming home and you seeing your bed made, you feel better.
Yeah, you do. Because when you see the duvet all everywhere, like you just feel, I don't know, a little bit dirty, like a little
Yeah.
bit messy.
You do, and there's probably no reason for it, but just mentally you're like, there's probably another thing that you haven't done for the day.
Yeah.
But if you went out and you did absolutely nothing for the day, had a terrible day, and you come home and your bed's made, I feel like, it wasn't a bad day after all.
Yeah, true. And it looks more dreamy to hop into as well, rather than just like this scungy old bed that's not made. It is
Maybe
actually
your bed is.
it's not scungy, but it is actually massive when you think about it, because I've been making it for so long now, but to think back of when I wasn't, I'm just like, ugh, I feel dirty.
Yeah. It's got to a point now, and because I was like this for years,
Yeah.
I know what it's like to not be making your bed.
Yeah.
But now, because it's just so ingrained into me, that habit, making my bed, like if I didn't do it, I would know straight away, and I
Yeah.
would come home and not feel good. So
Yeah.
it just goes back to habit building.
Yeah,
Just
it
start
is.
with that simple little one.
Yeah, it is the first thing that you, like the first little things that you do in your day set you up for how productive you're going to be throughout the day and puts you in a good mood as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're not making your bed, go make
Make
your
it,
bed.
go make it now.
Go make it now because we're watching. No, that's good tip. What's happening behind the scenes at the moment? We've got a new range coming out for our meal plans, and what is the range?
Yeah, Mexican range.
Mexican range.
So yeah, we're always thinking of ways to improve our meals and make them enjoyable for our clients,
Yeah.
and things that we would want to eat, and
Yeah.
and we get feedback, and we know everyone likes Mexican food.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to love that.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd go with a Mexican range.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bunch of different ranges in there at the moment, but we're really kind of like nothing down. I think we're going to be doing this trend as we continue to go and keep getting different cuisines. Have I said that right?
I think so. I'm not going to say. You
I
can say it.
struggled
You're
with
the one
it
who
last
chose to
week
go
as
with, I
well.
just go with meal plans as my word.
Yeah, but I need to get down to that very specific what is cuisines.
You're putting a lot of in there.
Yeah, go.
Cuisines.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. That was pretty good.
That's
I said it
better.
last week as well, and it's a hard word for me. But yeah, anyways, that's what we're doing, and we're doing Mexican at the moment. And is there any specific reason why we chose Mexican?
Oh well, I went to Mexico a couple of years ago, and I tried their foods there, and this might surprise a lot of people, but I don't really like the Mexican food there. And
Why?
like for me, what makes Mexican food good is the like cheese and sour cream.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was in Mexico I found out that that's not Mexican food. That's what they call Tex-Mex, which is like the American Texas version of Mexican food. So
It's so bad that the way that it's like
Yeah.
the buttered chicken and the Indian foods, eh? It's
yeah.
nothing like
and so like that to me was Mexican food, but
Yeah.
that's not actual Mexican food. That's just the American version to obviously process it and make it like
yum.
that way. So when I got there, the foods, like, don't get me wrong, they were good and you'd enjoy them, but there was no cheese or sour cream.
Just not what
And-
you were expecting.
Yeah, and it's all done more authentically
Yeah.
and traditionally. So
Yeah.
it's not processed tortillas and that. So that was a surprise, and obviously there were spices and everything.
Yeah.
But that was the big difference that I've found.
Yeah.
And with our Mexican range, we've incorporated like some of the traditional Mexican food, because the more traditional stuff is the healthier options.
Yeah.
Like, because sour cream we know is high in fat. We know cheese generally is high in fat.
Yeah.
But we have incorporated more of that Tex-Mex style Mexican food
Yeah.
too. But the lower light options with sour cream
Yeah.
and cheeses. So
Yeah.
what
So
foods do we have?
We've got nachos, burritos, quesadillas, tortillas. Yeah.
Yeah, different versions of those. So,
Yeah.
um,
I have a mean nacho one on there, honestly. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I have that like quite often as well. I love it.
yeah.
You have to try it.
Yeah, you have to make it for me. So yeah, that's the range that we've gone with.
Yeah.
Mexican for now.
Yeah.
So all our clients will be able to have access to those.
Yeah. But we are always looking at new things to bring on board at Motion Fitness just to make it better for our clients. I mean, from the sounds of it, they're enjoying it, but it's always, there's no harm in upskilling and just kind of creating new recipes and stuff as well.
Yeah, something new for them to learn.
Yeah.
For us to cook as well.
Yeah.
Because we like to still try what we are obviously creating.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I look forward to it.
Yeah,
Nacho Tuesday at your house, eh?
Nacho Tuesday. Yeah, I could get used to that if you're cooking it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. As always, we really do appreciate your support. And if you have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comment section so that we can answer them to make sure that you're kind of getting what you want out of these podcasts as well. So as usual, like, subscribe, follow. Anything else?
Yeah,
interact with us.
Give us shout outs.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We'll be here every week doing our podcast, touching on all of these topics, and we'd love to have you guys come along and just, get to know us a little bit more. So, yeah, cheers. Cheers to episode 6.
Cheers, bro.